Hey guys, what's up? It's Danny from the Lassercast, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards 2022. I watched them tonight on Shudder. They had a little technical problems getting started. It was kind of ironic that when I turned on Shudder expecting to see the Chainsaw Awards, PG Psycho Goreman was playing, which ended up winning a bunch of awards on the show, but they got all their issues settled and the show started. And just like last year, the host was Dave Desmalkian, a guy who you know from the Suicide Squad, from Ant-Man. He is one of the most recognizable faces around, and he is so good at this. You can tell that he has a love for this, and that he would just be a really good horror host. I'd love to see Shudder give him his own little show, the way that we get Joe Bob and Darcy in The Last Drive-In, the way that Elvira had a special. I think he would be really good at that. But I'm just going to run through. Now, in fairness, because of the technical problems and because of the fact that Charlotte came out and told me she needed something for school tomorrow at 8 o'clock at night, and I had to run out to the store, I missed the first 10 minutes of the actual award show. So I'm going to read off a list of the awards and the winners and tell you who was there and presenting. And if you didn't see it, you guys can go and watch this on Shudder when it goes up. It was so much fun. I grew up loving award shows. I used to watch the Oscars every year. And yeah, the Oscars have really gone down the toilet over the last few years. Every once in a while, you'll get that almost feels like a token horror nod where like Get Out will win Best Screenplay. But, you know, too many times we watch great horror films like Hereditary, Toni Collette's performance get completely overlooked. And even so many of the great performances last year were completely overlooked, all for the purposes of nominating. It's crazy. It's May. I don't even remember what won Best Picture. It was Coda. Coda won. I never even saw that movie. But yeah, there were so many great horror films last year. Let's get into it. The first award that I actually saw was for Best Creature Effects, and the award went to Stephen Kastansky and his team that put together PG Psycho Goreman. Pete and I have if you go on our channel, we have a great interview with Stephen Kastansky. One of Pete and my favorite movies of last year. It was number 2 on my list, and it was number 1 on Pete's list. It would go on to also win Best Limited Release Horror Film. So 2 wins for Stephen Kastansky. You could watch about a 15-minute interview that we did with him on our channel. Super cool guy, and I've loved all of the films by him and by his group over at Ashton 6. And of course, the biggest thing about PG Psycho Goreman and Stephen Kastansky's work are the practical creature effects. They are unbelievable. It's like Power Rangers on steroids. It's just unbelievable the work that they do on those creature effects. Best Supporting Star. The Fangoria Chainsaw Awards do not do actor, actress. They just do supporting star and lead star, and I think that's really cool. I think that that's something the Oscars might want to do. I think it's a good way to just recognize acting without breaking it up into multiple awards. But anyway, supporting star went to Millicent Simmons of A Quiet Place 2. She was fantastic in that movie. I'd argue that she's probably the lead in that movie. I know that, the mom is technically the lead actress, but I thought Millicent Simmons dominated both the first and second film in the Quiet Place series, and I'm interested to see what they do if they come out with a part 3. First feature went to Saint Maud, directed by Rose Glass. That movie just missed my top 10, but it is really creepy. One of my favorite horror endings of last year. If you haven't seen it, you should check that out, definitely. Musical soundtrack, best music in a horror film this year. This is a name you might have heard of before. John Carpenter. Him and his son Cody and their partner won for their score for Halloween Kills. That award was introduced by legendary Harry Manfredini of the Friday the 13th catalog. He's done the soundtrack for most of those movies. I just want to read off a list of the people who they had presenting these awards and who showed up on screen. Jim Cummings, the director of The Wolf of Snow Hollow and The Beta Test. So many great films. Love Jim Cummings. Peaches Christ, Darcy the Mail Girl presented an award looking spectacular. Tiffany Shepis, Phil Nobile Jr. was there. Michael Gingold. These are names you know from Fangoria magazine for years. Dr. Rebecca McKendry was there with Elric Kane. Josh Rubin, the director of Werewolves Within, was there with Harvey Guillen. Rachel True. I'm not even remembering everybody. They even had Dee Wallace was there to hand out Best Director, along with many other big names in horror. And one of my favorite aspects of this was that the winners, most of the winners were actually either there to accept their awards or sent in live stream reactions, which was great. Like John Carpenter was there holding, he sent in a video of him holding his Chainsaw Award. Lee Janiak, she won an award as well for Best Streaming Horror Premiere. It was the Fear Street 1666. That was part 3 in the Fear Street series, and it was my personal favorite of the trilogy. She was very happy to receive this award, and she was also there as part of the Best Kill, along with Christopher Nelson, because the Best Kill went to Fear Street Part 1, and all I have to say is The Bread Slicer. You know what I'm talking about. One of, if not the best kill of 2021 in horror. Speaking of Christopher Nelson, who did that kill, he also won Best Makeup for Halloween Kills. There were 2 new awards. Best Costume went to Odile Dix Maru for Last Night in Soho. Last Night in Soho also won for Best Director Edgar Wright, who was very happy, and in his little speech that he sent in, he even said that this is better than an Oscar. And I feel like in the horror community, that is definitely something that a lot of these people in the horror field, they believe, because it's better to be recognized by your peers and by your fans than, you know, a board of directors who come up with these awards. Horror documentary went to Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, directed by Kiera Janice. That's like a 3-hour documentary about folk horror that is in my queue, and I cannot wait to watch it. I just haven't had a chance. It's 3 hours, but I look forward to getting into it. Some of my favorite horror films are folk horror movies. The Wicker Man from 1973, not the Nicolas Cage version. You know, and then we have people like Robert Eggers and Ari Aster kind of bringing folk horror into the modern world. Films like Hereditary and Midsommar, even The Witch is very folkish. So I can't wait to get into that. That one, Best Documentary. Best Achievement in Nonfiction went to The Last Drive-In. Joe Bob accepted the award. Darcy was there as a presenter. That's part of our Friday nights here in the house. Best Screenplay went to Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski for The Night House. Terrific film. That's one of these movies. That's a horror film that easily could have gotten some Oscar nominations. Rebecca Hall her lead performance in that movie was absolutely fantastic as well. Best international horror film went to Titan. That was in my top 5. Julia Ducournau's, between that movie and Raw, she has become event filmmaking in any genre, let alone the horror genre. And then, just to wrap this up, we had Best Horror TV Series. It went to Midnight Mass from Mike Flanagan. And we covered Midnight Mass on this channel. I reviewed several episodes. Pete and Shari reviewed several episodes. Overall, that series was the perfect series for me on a personal note at the perfect time. It's a show that deals with loss. It's a show that deals with, just feelings of grief and loneliness. And I got to watch that show almost immediately after my father passed, and just to see the show get recognized and to see Mike Flanagan receive that award, it meant a lot to me as somebody who loves his work and loves that show so much. I've watched it straight through. I've watched all 7 episodes. I've watched 2 times straight through already, and I'll probably, as soon as Charlotte is ready to watch it, it'll be my 3rd. Best lead performance went to Yahya Abdul-Mateen from Candyman. I've watched Candyman probably 2 times straight through, and I saw it in the theater, and then I watched it with my horror movie club at the school that I work at, and it's fantastic. Nia DaCosta did a great job there, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen really is fantastic as this character who, he's not the Candyman, but he's becoming the Candyman. I really enjoyed that. And then best best wide release film went to the unbelievably, unabashedly absurd Malignant. Malignant was in my top 10 this year. And the way I describe Malignant is, for the first hour of the movie, you're going to be sitting there and you're going to be thinking, man, this is just not that great. And then when the twist comes and when the movie just throws everything at you, you are going to be in an absolute state of shock. You won't believe what hit you. I've not had a more fun 20 minutes than I had watching Malignant this year. I sat in the living room with my wife and a friend of ours, and the 3 of us just like this for the entire second half of the movie. Yeah, it's that. Is it the best horror film of the year? Probably not. Is it the most absolutely wonderfully ridiculous movie of the year? Probably. So I'm kind of glad it won. So that's it. Those were the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. I think I covered everything that I could. As a horror movie fan, to sit for an hour and 20 minutes, an award show in an hour and 20 minutes, with a fun host, guests, presenters who are fan favorites of the genre, guests and winners who are proud of the work that they do in this genre that is continually maligned. It's a pleasure. It really is. And I'm so glad that Fangoria and Shudder, 2 of my, as a kid, like I said, as a kid, Fangoria is very much responsible, partly responsible for making me the horror fan I was today. I would love going to the mall with my parents, and they would always go to the bookstores, and I would always sneak right over to the magazine section. And even as like a 5-6-year-old kid, I didn't care about sports or entertainment. I went straight for the bottom shelf, and I looked for things like Fangoria and Starlog, and I looked for all of those, whatever had the goriest image on the front. That's what I went for, and it was always Fangoria. And then Shudder, which has really shaped my adult fandom these last probably 5-6 years that I've been a Shudder subscriber, and these last couple of years that Pete and I have been doing the Lasercast, we basically use Shudder as our go-to guide for stuff to talk about with you here on this channel. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of both Fangoria and Shudder, and I love that they put this award show out on TV. Because for horror fans, this is what matters. Like, we do really care. Like, it's why we go to conventions. They don't really have conventions for any other genre other than, you know, horror and maybe sci-fi. So, it's nice. I appreciate that. All right. Well, this has been Danny from the Lasercast. If you watched the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, let me know what you thought. Let me know what movies you thought should have won which awards. If you're on our channel, like I said, double Chainsaw Award winner Stephen Kastansky of PG Psycho Goreman. We have a 15-minute interview with him up on our channel. He was such a nice guy. We had such a good time talking to him, Pete and I. Charlotte and I just posted, because Friday was Friday the 13th, we posted our franchise rankings of that series. So if you want to check that out and give us yours, go right ahead. That would be a lot of fun. And yeah, and you know that coming up, we're going to have more videos, and we're probably going to be talking about stuff that's on Shudder. I'm about to go watch The Sadness, which I've been reading amazing reviews about, a absolutely gory zombie film. So, can't wait to jump into that. And that's it. This has been Danny from the Lasercast, and I'll see you very soon.